The movie starts off with a 7-year-old Darby performing her exceptional cheerleading skills during a football game. Her mother, who used to be an iconic cheerleader during her days, is very proud of her. One day, Darby and her parents go to the beach for a little picnic. It's a sunny day, perfect for outdoor activities. Things seem to be going well until Darby and her mom go swimming. Unfortunately, a sudden wave sweeps the mother-daughter duo off to the ocean, drowning them. Darby's father and the bystanders quickly jump into the water and bring back the lifeless bodies. The little girl is miraculously brought back to life after performing CPR. However, her mother sadly perishes. It is during her mother's funeral that Darby realizes she's able to see and communicate with the dead. At the graveyard, she sees a couple of spirits roaming around and noticing her. The little girl is initially scared to death, but she soon realizes that the spirits are not ghosts, but rather deados who have some unfinished business in their previous life. These deados will only move on to the afterlife after they take care of the things they could not do while alive. Fast forward to 9 years later, Darby is now a teenager who continues to use her power to help the dead transition to the next life. The 16-year-old spends every weekend acting like a secret messenger of the deados. She fulfills their unfinished business, after which they vanish into thin air, indicating their travel to the next life. She enjoys her work very much, rather than taking it as a curse. However, Darby's side business with no income has caused her to become distant from everyone. She's a loner at school, therefore she hates attending classes. Her father always encourages her to become more social and friendly, but the teenager is in no mood to make friends with a living. She carries on with her days, judging the popular girls, including former friend Capricorn Capri Donahue, the popular cheerleader. Capri is currently dating a handsome classmate, James. Ever since she noticed him during an audition, Capri hasn't been able to take her off of him. Darby's only true friend is the school's former janitor, Gary, one of the deados who's waiting for his wife Linda to pass away so that he can move on to the afterlife with her. During a biology class, the teacher pairs the students alphabetically with their last names. As a result, Darby is paired with James, whom she used to have a crush on during the 6th grade. The mean girl Capri is understandably mad, so she orders Darby to get off her seat. However, our girl isn't scared of the bully, and she speaks up for herself. Soon, the teacher notices their heated argument, so she instructs Capri to return to her seat. This embarrasses the bully, and she calls Darby a freak before leaving the scene. James, who turns out to be a kind person, apologizes to Darby on behalf of Capri. Later, at the cafeteria, a transfer student approaches Darby and attempts to indulge in a conversation with her. However, our introverted girl believes he's another deados, so she strictly reminds him of her working hours. It is only when she mistakenly bumps into him does she realize that he's a living human. Darby apologizes to him for talking rubbish before the school's principal interrupts them. The principal then introduces the new student, Alex, and advises her to help him with his studies. Darby agrees to do so, but refuses Alex's offer to hang out later in the evening. She also makes it clear that she's not free during the weekends. Later that day, the lone teenager fails to find her clothes in the locker after the PE class. She knows who did it, so she straightforwardly confronts Capri and her mean girls. Capri, while straightening her hair, pretends to be oblivious until our heroine threatens to report her to the principal for bullying. Enraged, she moves forward to attack our girl, but suddenly slips away into a pool of water. She then mistakenly puts down her plugged straightener in the water, electrocuting herself. Capri sadly dies due to the tragic accident. That night, she visits Darby and comes to grips with the fact that she's actually dead and needs to pass on. She reveals that another deados, Gary, had told her about Darby's abilities. She also discovers that she can physically control things with her mind. Capri keeps bugging Darby until she decides her main focus is to plan her 17th birthday party before moving on to the afterlife. The following day at school, Capri visits her friends who have organized a memorial for her at school. However, she becomes mad when she realizes that they've brought the ugliest photo of her for the memorial. She then uses her power to crush the photo in the ground. In the meantime, Darby meets with Gary as usual to play chess with him. He introduces her to a middle-aged man named Mel, who just died last night. Mel asks her to help him move on after he watches them play chess. Darby gladly agrees to do so. Later, during recess, Alex approaches her and asks when they can hang out, but Darby once again ignores him. Just then, she bumps into Capri, so she excuses herself to talk with the Deados. Capri says that she won't transition to the afterlife until she makes sure her sweet 17 birthday party will still carry on without her. But Darby refuses to help her and heads to her biology class. Capri follows her and threatens to use her power to manipulate things in the real world. However, Darby still refuses to listen to her. As a result, Capri mobilizes her energy to hit one of her classmates with a dead frog. Darby apologizes to the classmate and goes to the restroom. Capri continues to follow her there and forces our girl to put her head in the toilet pan. Later at home, Darby finds herself compelled to obey Capri's instructions. The mean bully then discloses her strategy for Darby to get along with her friends Taylor and Bree and persuade them to organize a birthday party in her honor. To do so, Darby needs to join the cheerleading team. As the days pass, she successfully integrates into Capri's social circle. She then proposes to Taylor and Bree to celebrate Capri's birthday and raise awareness about electrocution. They initially think it's a stupid idea, but Darby eventually convinces them by saying that it could get them more followers on social media. Soon, with Capri's influence, Darby starts gaining popularity. She performs exceptionally with the cheers and gets praised for her amazing skills. Additionally, she goes to see James, who has been absent from the school since Capri's passing. Darby also starts spending time with Alex, and it's evident that the two are in love with each other. After one of her cheerleading performances, Alex asks her out on a date, to which Darby gladly accepts. Just when things seem to be going in the right direction for our girl, problems arise. Darby's new life starts to interfere with her old one as she misses the date with Alex and repeatedly declines to assist Gary's friend Mel in moving on to the next life. Capri initially feels jealous of Darby's growing influence over her friends, but is reassured by Gary and Mel. One day, Darby goes to meet James and hands him over some notes. They go through his childhood photo album, and James reveals to have had a crush on Darby when they were children. Surprised, she quickly changes the topic by pointing at a treehouse. The scene then shifts to the two teenagers spending quality time together at the treehouse. James inquires if he can go to school with her, to which she gladly agrees. The next day, however, a rumor about Darby dating James circulates around the school. Things get elevated when James holds her hand in front of everyone. Capri, who is lurking around as usual, overhears James saying that he enjoyed spending time with Darby yesterday. This obviously makes the bully jealous, so she starts haunting him, pressuring him to break up with Darby. The following day, an anxious James visits Darby and takes her out for a drive. He then reveals that Capri may be trying to communicate with him from the afterlife. However, our girl suggests that he ignore his instincts and be more present in reality. Days later, Darby attends Capri's much-awaited birthday party, despite Capri telling her not to do so. Darby then discovers James communicating with his dead girlfriend through a Ouija board. Soon, Capri taunts and disrupts the party with her antics and threatens to not stop the deed until Darby shows her true colors to everyone. This way, everyone will know how much of a liar she actually is. Capri goes on to use her energy to manipulate the Ouija board and hover it in the sky. Everybody is astonished to see the flying Ouija board, while Darby incessantly tries to catch it. When Capri threatens further embarrassment, our girl eventually opens up to everyone about her abilities, admitting that her previous behavior of being cool was a facade. Because of this, she's once again the subject of ridicule at school. Unexpectedly, Capri visits Darby to make amends. She comes to the realization that she really acted selfishly at the party. She doesn't want to leave the human world with a bitter relationship with her childhood best friend. It's also revealed that she managed to locate Darby's mother, who had been observing her daughter from a distance to see how she handles herself. In a gesture of reconciliation, Darby and Capri rekindle their friendship. Following this, Capri vanishes into thin air as she transitions to the afterlife. Embracing a fresh start, Darby reconciles with the cheerleading squad and maintains her friendship with James. She also apologizes to Gary for not helping Mel pass on. Much to her surprise, Gary shares that Mel has moved on to the afterlife thanks to Alex. He then discloses Alex's ability to see ghosts, similar to Darby's experiences after falling into a coma. Choosing to forge a new path together, Darby and Alex decide to date and embark on an afterlife business venture together. Meanwhile, a bird, who is perhaps Capri, observes them from a distance.